Hi, welcome to the F1 Time Portal, a Formula One history podcast started by two Formula One experts. I'm your host, Rosa.
And I'm your horse with no name, Luigi. And today we're taking you back to the 1972 season, race review season, part 4. So let's go.
You do have a name. You're a horse with a name of Luigi.
Yeah, not according to the band called America.
Oh, okay.
And this links to Formula One.
Yeah. I like that song. Don't you like it?
Oh, it's a bit too slow and sleepy for me.
Oh, okay. Well, sometimes you need slow and sleepy.
For a name that's got horse in it, as in it's certainly not talking about horsepower.
No, it's not.
It's talking about an actual horse.
An actual horse.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. So, but still it came out in 72 and here we are in 72.
Race 8 of 12. Germany.
German Grand Prix, yes, at the famous Nürburgring. This is July 30, 14 laps. We all know it's a 22-kilometre or whatever that is in miles track. And it's warm and sunny. So Stewart came out of the blocks really trying to reassert himself in the championship, as it was felt that the 16-point lead that Fittipaldi had would be difficult to overhaul unless someone did something about it.
Yeah. Look, it's interesting because we talked about this at the end of the previous race. It's only 2 wins and there are 5 races left in this season. And there's a lot of retirements in this era. So I don't know. It's interesting that they thought it had to be done quickly.
Yeah. Well,
so remember how Surtees came back and won the 64 championship out of nowhere, Louis?
Yeah.
Do you remember that one? Do you remember 64?
I do remember 64, yeah, unfortunately. So I remember this is what Mike Lang flagged, that this is the defeatist British bias, I'm thinking, that they felt that it's over, you know?
Yeah, okay, maybe. They like to just lead from the front, the British people. So the speeds at the classic ring were really improving at a rate of knots because on day 1, Stewart set a time of 7 minutes, 20.1 seconds, which was faster than the record time set in the 1971 race.
Yeah. And I still remember the old days when breaking 9 minutes was...
I know, exactly.
It feels sort of fresh.
Yes.
Then in the second practice session, the lap record was being shattered. In particular, Severt, who set a time of 7 minutes 12.2, but then soon after that, a flight over a part of the track, he landed awkwardly. Like, so on this track, there's bumps.
Yeah, there's bumps,
which
and you
launched the cars.
They launched them exactly.
And it got to the stage where the drivers knew where to launch and where to land.
Yes.
And if you don't land in the right way, you damage your car. And unfortunately, with Severt, he landed and damaged his car, luckily not hurting himself.
The final practice session on Saturday produced even faster times. This time, Ickx in his Ferrari, who had the fastest time on Friday with 7 minutes 10 seconds, set a pole time of 7 minutes 7 seconds, with Stewart second on 7 minutes 8.7 seconds, and Fittipaldi was third in his Lotus. Peterson fourth in his March. Man, Peterson's doing well in that weird car.
It's less weird than last year.
It is less weird than last year.
And, I mean, we're going to break that 6-minute barrier next year.
I know.
For sure. If we don't, I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
But what a season. The first 4 positions, 4 different marks. And Ickx is quite a qualifier, isn't he? He likes that Ferrari.
He is. He does.
So to the race. Initially, the organisers were only going to allow 25 starters. I have no idea why they think that when the track is so long.
Yeah, exactly.
But there were representations made by the affected drivers and teams to allow the full 27 contingent.
27, that's only an extra 2.
I know, really? Such a big deal.
Really big deal, exactly. It's a 22-kilometre track.
Yeah, you've got to give something for the fans to watch.
Yeah, they usually had F2 running at the same time.
Yeah,
here,
remember that?
They? Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah, F2, organisers. The organisers relented only on the basis that no starting money would be paid.
Oh, you're kidding me. Like, hang on. No starting money to all the drivers or just the extra 2?
I think it's the extra 2, I'm guessing.
Oh, it's always about money, Luigi.
Yeah,
that's so sad.
At least they're being honest about it.
Yeah. So when the drivers...
Well, forced to be honest about it.
Yeah. So they set off on the warm-up lap, but poor Eamon had his ignition system damaged after the car bottomed out, probably on one of those flying bits, and he was left to go to the pits and lose a lap for repairs while the race started. Look, I'm going to call it out now, Louis. I'm putting it on the record. I'm dubbing him the official new Moss for the 1970 season.
Have we done this before? I'm having deja vu.
I think we did someone for 1960, but I can't remember who it was.
Eamon, probably Eamon, because he started. Yeah, he takes it for the 60s and the 70s.
And the 70s.
Yeah.
I mean, we're only in 72, so unless someone else comes out of the blocks.
No, but nobody gets near Eamon. No one. He sets a new standard. Guy. I mean, at least Moss won lots of races.
Yes, this is true. But
yeah. Anyway, I agree with you though. So to race start, it was a strong launch for the top four, which included X, Stewart, Peterson and Fittipaldi, with all of them side by side heading into the first corner. Super exciting.
Stewart and Peterson touched wheels. Are you going to be angry about this one, Luigi?
Is it allowed in the code of conduct?
Peterson came off best, slotting into second place as the cars funneled through that corner with X leading. Stewart fell back to fifth place and Regazzoni moved up to third with Fittipaldi into fourth.
That would have just been awesome to see that first corner.
I know.
I can't see Stewart sitting in fifth for long though.
Up front, X showed that his race pace was no different to his qualifying pace as he sought to control the race. By the end of the first lap, he was 3 seconds clear of Peterson, who was in turn a similar distance ahead of Regazzoni. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen to Stewart there, Louis.
Yeah. On the second lap, remember he's got a point to prove and he wants to keep the championship alive.
Yes.
And he wants to defend his championship.
Yes.
On the second lap, the gap between the first three was widening, except that Fittipaldi in the Lotus overtook Regazzoni, and then following that, he started to close up on Peterson's march.
Well, all this is going on. X now had a lead of about 10 seconds.
Will that car hold out? I shouldn't have said it, should I?
No.
I've just jinxed it, haven't I?
You've just jinxed it.
Yeah. On lap 5, and remember this is a 14-lap race, X continued to dominate while Fittipaldi was in second place. He could make no impression on the leading Ferrari.
Woohoo. At half race distance, X's lead was now 18 seconds. Fittipaldi was pulling away from Peterson also, and his car was having some issues. Meanwhile, further back, Regazzoni and Stewart were running fourth and fifth.
Oh, so Stewart is sort of hanging back.
Yeah,
there.
He's still fifth.
Yeah, the pace is what it is. So by lap 10 of 14, 1/3 of the field were already out, hence making a mockery of that 27-25 race starter thing, mainly due to retirements, of course. So this now included the front runner and second-placed driver Fittipaldi, as his Lotus was emitting ominous smoke. When he reached the pits, the reason became very clear. His gearbox literally blew apart and burst into flames.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's lucky that happened in the pits.
Yeah, he had to scramble out of the car and his car had to be put out with a fire extinguisher.
Wow. Some drama in the race, Louis, beyond that first corner.
So we're left with X not only enjoying an even larger lead now, but he'd just done a lap in 7 minutes 17, 7 minutes 13.6, which is very, not far off the qualifying.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know what it would have got him on the grid, but it would have been in the top few positions.
So as the race moved into the final stages, this is your jinx, Luigi. X's engine started to sound flat due to a cracked exhaust. That's okay. A cracked exhaust isn't that bad. Just makes your car sound better. People do that on purpose.
I think it does affect things, but yeah, okay. Depends if the exhaust is if it's cracked at the end where it's for sound effects.
That's right.
Or is it further up where it's not for sound effects. I wonder if that's actually a term that the mechanics actually use. They go,
yes.
I wonder if there's a term like SE, sound effect.
Yeah.
SEP, sound effect positive. So of some interest was that on lap 13, Beltoise in the BRM was shown a black flag as the battery mounting on his car had broken. But when he arrived at the pits, the battery had already fallen out, so he just rejoined the race in ninth place.
Hang on a minute. I have a couple of questions here. Do you need a battery? Surely they replaced the battery. And where was the one that had fallen out? Was it on the track somewhere?
Yeah, where was it?
Where was it? And a battery's really heavy. Like maybe if cars don't need a battery, maybe, this is another innovative saving weight idea that Chapman can bring into the Lotus.
Yeah, his eyes probably shot up. When he saw that BRM continue without a battery, he was like, hey, wait, as long as Beltars didn't turn the engine off when he went into the pits.
That's right.
Because then there's a problem.
Then they're in trouble. Yeah.
So to the last lap, we had some drama. The race-long duel between Regazzoni in the Ferrari and Stewart in the Tyrrell flared up as Regazzoni went wide on one of the corners, which enabled Stewart to go side by side. And they stayed.
Yeah, they stayed side by side at the next corner with neither driver giving any leeway. The rear wheels touched.
Is this the second touch of the race?
Yep, this is a second touch.
Yeah. Well, Stewart was the loser again, just like he was against Peterson. And Stewart finished up with a bent car against the guardrail whilst Regazzoni continued with that issue. I bet Stewart's in that 005. The cursed 005.
Yay, Ferrari. Stewart was okay, and X won the race by 48.3 seconds, making it a Ferrari 1-2. Peterson came third.
Yeah, and so that six-sounding exhaust wasn't such a problem.
No.
So X achieved the grand slam of qualifying on pole, setting the fastest lap, winning, and leading every lap of the race.
Wow.
So there you go.
That's Max Verstappen-esque.
It is, and it even gives him a bit of a boost in the long shot championship odds.
Yes, it does. Yes. Well, let's have a look at that now, Louis. Good segue. Fittipaldi's on 43. Jackie Stewart is on 27. Jackie X is on 25 and Denny Holm was on 21. Still doable, 27 to 43.
With how many races to go? 9, 10, 11, 12. 4 races. Okay.
Yeah. And in constructors, we've got the Lotus Ford on 43, the Tyrrell Ford on 33, Ferrari on 29 and McLaren on 29.
Okay, cool. So up to the 9th race of the season, the Austrian Grand Prix. It's at the Österreich Ring. August 13, 54 laps, and the weather was very hot.
So for this race, the Tyrrell team reworked the front end of the new but unreliable 005. You're right, Luigi. He was in the 005. And the new 005 was in action. Well, hopefully this time they can actually get it to finish a race.
I wouldn't call it unreliable, more unlucky because it's involved in accidents from others. Yeah.
Yes.
But Stewart was again immediately on the pace, and while the Ferrari struggled with the heat, it was, however, Fittipaldi that set the fastest time, and that would also be a pole, followed closely by Stewart in second.
On Saturday practice, the Ferraris were still struggling with heat vaporisation, but then it suddenly cleared for Regazzoni, and he set a time that would be the best of the day, good enough for second on the grid.
Stewart remained third, and Revson in the McLaren secured fourth.
So again, we have 7 different marks in top 8 cars on the grid.
So this season is really serving up a team of race leaders beating their teammates consistently, because when you have unique situations like that, it means you're beating your teammate.
You're beating your teammate. Yes. Yeah. Every race, it seems. Yeah. In not great news for Ferrari, the temperature on race day was even hotter than the previous days at about 37 degrees Celsius.
That's not too bad, but maybe for Austria or Mike Lang as the British author, that is really hot. It's just that, I mean, that's hot in Australia, but we get a lot hotter than that.
Yeah. So at race start, it was Stewart that made a blistering start, no pun intended, and took the inside corner past both Fittipaldi and Regazzoni into the first corner.
Yeah. Stewart immediately started pulling away, which was helped by Regazzoni's Ferrari starting to develop the same fuel feed issues that they faced in practice.
I see that Enzo hasn't really seen to that reliability issue for those Ferraris. On lap 5, Fittipaldi finally found a way past the determined Regazzoni, who was doggedly defending his track position.
Yeah, next behind Regazzoni was Holm in the McLaren and Reutemann in the Brabham, who now had the responsibility to pass the unyielding but hobbled Regazzoni.
I mean, he's really doing well, isn't he, Regazzoni? Trying to not let anyone pass him. I wonder if he would, the code of conduct these days would probably say no weaving, no changing direction. So, yeah, he'd probably get pulled up these days, but I can just imagine him just not trying to let anyone past him, but going really slow as well.
You're adding a lot of flavour to the term unyielding.
Yes, I am.
You are. But I think I get the feeling you're right. He seems like that sort of a driver.
Well, he's hobbled as well. So, how can people not pass him if he's hobbled? He's being difficult. So while all this was going on, Peterson in the March charged up from 11th all the way up to Regazzoni's tail, who was now third. Wow.
Yeah, and then finally Regazzoni's Ferrari slowed heavily. So his moving chicane time was coming to an end as he retired from the race.
X qualified ninth and he was coughing and spluttering from race start. So he also retired with Regazzoni.
Yeah. Okay, so we're just celebrating a Ferrari 2 1-2 last race, weren't we?
Yeah, I know.
That seems like a long time ago suddenly.
Like I said, what's Enzo been doing with his strategy to fix the reliability? Nothing.
That Ferrari does not like the heat whatsoever.
No.
Yeah.
So as the race approached half distance, things started to become interesting. Fittipaldi had caught right up to Stewart, but Holm was also catching both of them.
So Fittipaldi finally caught Stewart and he just took the lead. So it was later found that Stewart was struggling with his handling and this was limiting his speed.
So this is the new reworked 005 still having handling issues.
Yeah, now it's a reliability issue.
Yeah. So within a few laps, Stewart had slipped down to fourth and he continued to do so as Halewood in the Surtees demoted him even further. How embarrassing. He got overtaken by a Surtees.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and I think Surtees' team is a bit like a Haas team of 2024, 2025, like a team that's sometimes good and sometimes you don't see them at all. So it's like they might be 6th or 8th in the race if they have an amazing race, but normally they're 17th or 18th. So that Surtees, good on Halewood. He's been up here a few times.
He has. So while Stewart was sliding back, the excitement was all on the front as Holm was heavily challenging Fittipaldi for the lead of the race.
And these two were nose to tail for the remaining laps as Holm was better in the corners and Fittipaldi was better in the straights. That old classic situation. So Fittipaldi was not bothered by this attention and held on to win by 1.18 seconds.
So there's a little bit more excitement to come as Peterson, who was third, suddenly had fuel feed problems, which quickly relegated him down to 12th. This promoted Revson to third and Halewood in that Surtees fourth.
And Revson inheriting another podium just like that.
Yeah.
A couple of races ago, I think it was.
It did, yeah. Okay, so we've got Emerson Fittipaldi on 52, Jackie Stewart on 27 with Denny Holm, 27 each, Jackie X on 25 and Revson on 14. I mean, he's out of it, but I don't know. Maybe it's starting to slip away from them now, Louis. How many races left?
It's
3 races.
3 races, yeah. So we're going to do one more race this episode, but we'll see in the next episode if there's enough time. But 9-8, there's 27 points available.
Yeah.
Jackie Stewart needs to pretty much...
Or
Jackie
Denny
Stewart
Holm.
Or Denny Holm. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
I forgot to put Denny Holm in that list.
Denny Holm.
But that would involve Denny Holm winning more than one race a year. That's against the rules.
Yeah. But also Emerson Fittipaldi can't finish at all in the points.
Yeah, you'd have to say Emerson's got 1.5 hands on that trophy.
Yeah. So on the constructors, we've got Lotus Ford on 52, McLaren Ford on 35, Tyrrell Ford on 33 and Ferrari on 29.
You really are doing the Ferrari.
Doing the Ferrari. Speaking of which, we're at Monza.
Yeah, we're gonna end this episode on one of the best races normally of the season. So this is race 10 of 12, the Italian Grand Prix, September 10, 55 laps, and the weather was overcast but dry. So here we are, our favourite race.
Yes. Like in this era, the slipstreaming was so aggressive. Like it was always on. We so much love this race, and this is the 50th anniversary of this track's opening, which they celebrated with a range of old Italian racing cars as a demonstration prior to the race starting. So that would have been interesting.
Yeah, and let's not forget 71's race, where Gethin won that unbelievable battle when he won by
Yes.
point. Like the top four were 0.6 with each apart from each other. So it shows even in this era, they can still put on those amazing races. And when I say this era, I mean 72. So the race organisers were really worried about the ever-increasing speeds at this track, and they were worried about spectators and drivers alike. And just a reminder, that 71 race with Gethin was the fastest ever race in Formula One history until 2003, which shows how fast it was.
Yes. And we've had some pretty horrific one very horrific accident here with spectators being injured and killed when Wolfgang von Tripp's car spun into the crowd. So they were very spooked by high speeds here. So they not only installed 2 chicanes, but they increased the runoff areas and did what they could to improve safety. While Mike Lang doesn't mention it, we all know that it is heavily driven by Jackie Stewart.
In a good way, we mean that.
Yes.
Yeah. So when I look at the 1972 Monza track, there are the gentlest of chicanes. They really are.
Yeah, I know. I'm more used to the really dramatic ones that come about in the 80s. But it makes a difference and it takes the edge off the very top speeds.
Yeah. So while we say that the chicanes are not as dramatic as one would have thought, it still takes some time for the drivers to learn the new track, new braking points and so forth.
Yeah, so they didn't look very aggressive on the track map, but they actually required the drivers to reduce speed from like 250 kilometres to 100 kilometres.
Yeah. And Mike Lang mentions that brake pad wear is more often than not quadrupled versus the previous years. That's how hard they have to brake, or the speeds they're taking into those corners that they have to scrub the speed off.
Yeah, so they are real and challenging and not soft like it looks like.
Yeah. So Stewart was an early front runner in his new Tyrrell 005, followed by Holm, Fittipaldi, Revson and the rest.
Luigi, this is Monza. Where's Ferrari? I didn't hear any Ferrari names.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. So it is just first practice. These cars are acclimatising themselves to this track. And I'm sure Ferrari will get a mention. Maybe they'll be the first to spin at the chicane or lose control.
Not funny. No. So there is some Italian news. The Lotus team was again entering this race as worldwide racing because remember they are still under investigation for the passing of for the passing of Rindt in 1970. So that he was driving a Lotus at the time and the Italian authorities are holding them responsible. So I don't think they were going to be allowed to race here. So they've created a bit of a loophole and entered their cars as worldwide racing again.
Yeah, and in a way I'm glad the Italian authorities take a racing death seriously. They're not just sweeping it under the rug and moving on. So that sort of stuff is what helps build, improve track safety. And let's not forget that time in the early 60s when it was the Italian police that said, no more driving on that banking.
Yes,
remember that?
Yes.
Organisers didn't do it. It was the police.
No, it was the police. Exactly.
And so that shows that there's some care behind that chaotic Italian passionate nature, you know?
Yes. So to qualifying, the last 30 minutes proved to be hectic and amazingly, Ickx in his Ferrari gained pole with a time of 1 minute 35.65 seconds, only 0.04 seconds faster than Eamon in the Matra in second. Stewart in the Tyrrell lined up third, followed by Regazzoni in fourth. Championship leader Fittipaldi was sixth.
Yeah, he's a bit back, isn't he? Yeah, so to the race start, Fittipaldi's Lotus had a leaking rubber fuel tank, and this had to be urgently fixed right before the race start.
So when the race started, there was an immediate chaotic, frenzy as Stewart's clutch failed. He qualified third, so he was right at the front of the grid.
Yeah, that's a really dangerous position to have an issue on a track like this where people are just flooring it, right? So a huge cloud of dust was thrown up as the leading cars were driving over an unused part of the track as they were bypassing the chicane for the first lap only.
Oh, sorry, Louis. I've
That's okay. Where are we up to? You're up to, because this huge cloud of dust wasn't anticipated, was it?
no, but like where did it come from? Like, couldn't they see that it was going to be there? Like, wasn't there dust all over the track?
I think it was a safety thing they were doing for the first lap by not having a chicane or something.
Oh, okay.
Not 100% sure. I can't remember, but that's what I think it is. I don't think it was linked to Stewart having the starting problem.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So amazingly, there was no incident, but there was a great deal of fear because all that dust going up. And in the meantime, Stewart pulled off the track. His championship hopes, albeit super slim, were gone.
So we have
it's just up
gone.
to home. Just up to home.
Yeah, home. Yeah. And you have no faith in in home, do you?
I don't think he wins more than one race a year, generally in life. So we have the two Ferraris leading the race with X ahead of Regazzoni. There you go. So Ferrari does get a mention.
Yes.
Fittipaldi was third, then Andretti, Eamon, and the rest.
What is sad is that Mike Lang openly states, "Gone are the slipstreaming battles of the past."
Yeah, he's really mourning it, and he's jumped to that conclusion, and it's only lap one.
Yeah.
So he's probably right. He probably wrote this with hindsight. He's warning us. Yeah. So now we know if Mike is right and we have a time machine, don't go to Monza from 72
onwards. Yeah.
So Mike even makes mention that gone are the days of cars being 3 or 4 abreast on the pit straight, and he calls it end of an era. And these chicanes have really changed the race, and the chicanes are doing a good job of sorting out the field and removing the dangerous but exciting to read about slipstreaming. So I think Mike's telling it like it is.
Yeah. I wonder if we're going to keep this race as our favourite race. Like it has been. Time will tell. But so far we have a Ferrari 1-2. Good start for me, I guess.
So you're liking these chicanes.
Yeah, I'm liking the chicane. Yeah.
Yeah. But at what price is my ask of you?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, the two Ferraris started to pull away from the rest of the field. So this is sounding like a normal track.
Yeah.
We never said that.
That never happened. Exactly.
No, not at the start.
Nah.
Then on lap 16, X ran wide, which allowed Regazzoni to take the lead.
But Regazzoni's lead was only short-lived because just one lap later, he was confronted by Pache in the March, recovering from a spin. The two cars touched, which damaged both of them and resulting in Regazzoni's rear suspension failing and triggering a fire. Both drivers walked away from their damaged cars without injury, but yeah, they were both out.
Luckily without injury, because nothing, even with this slightly slowed down Monza, it doesn't mean it's all safe and easy. Yeah, so X is now back in the lead, with Fittipaldi about 1 second further back. And not far behind him was Eamon in the Matra in third. We haven't heard about him for a while. And here we have Haywood and the Surtees up in fourth. We're hearing about that guy pushing through and doing better than his teammates, outperforming that car.
Absolutely. Is Surtees actually driving Luigi in this season?
No, I think Surtees is long gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We didn't. Yeah, you look that up. So there's 19 by lap 19. There were a lot of retirements. With some of the more interesting ones being that Haywood's Surtees lost its airbox, which resulted in a loss in some power and unusual handling. So these airboxes were huge. Like in the 72 cars, they were like a signature feature of their design. So Haywood was really receiving a lot less air.
Oh, interesting. And Surtees was driving, I stand corrected.
There you
he's
go.
Like quite down the grid with a little gaggle of other Surtees drivers.
Okay.
There's John Surtees himself, like 2, 4, 6, about 20th or thereabouts.
Yeah.
With Schenken and D. Adamich next in line in the other Surteeses. So, yeah, Haywood's really the star of that Surtees team, and
Interesting.
And good on John for still driving it.
Yeah. I do reckon he retires in 72, though, at the end of 72,
Yeah,
I reckon.
he's doing a bit of a latter years Jack Brabham, but less successful version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the battle for third and fourth was really taking attention as Hailwood was doing his very best to stay in aim and slipstream. There you go, a bit of slipstreaming until lap 30 when they came upon Andretti's Ferrari, which they were about to lap.
As they weaved their way around the Ferrari, Hailwood lost his aim and toe, and then Hailwood lost touch.
So with Hailwood,
it's still there. It's still sort of there.
Oh, this is only that. Well, like we've been hearing about slipstreaming going for laps and laps. This is just 3 cars.
Yeah, okay. We're just grabbing onto what we can.
We're reaching here.
We're desperate. We're desperate for slipstreaming. So with Hailwood slipping back without a toe, we switch back to the very front. Funny term, just funny way of saying it. Where Ickx and Fittipaldi were now nose to tail and fighting it out for the lead, and that's where we should be focusing.
So this lasted until lap 46 with 9 laps to go when the engine on the Ferrari cut out and Ickx coasted to the pits.
I can only imagine
the crowd.
The crowd just turned around and walked back home pretty much. Yeah. Fittipaldi reeled off the remaining laps to finish 14.5 seconds ahead of Hailwood in the Surtees. This ensured Fittipaldi of the 1972 Formula One World Championship. Yeah.
So hang on, did you just say that Surtees' car finished second? Yeah, must have. Wow, that's amazing. So after him came Holm finishing third.
Yes.
2 seconds behind Hailwood, and Revson was fourth.
Ever reliable Revson. And guess who comes fifth?
I'm going to say Graham Hill.
Yeah, that's pretty. That warrants a special mention.
I didn't guess that. I knew that because I wrote it in the notes. But yeah, he came. Oh no, that is a special mention because we've been feeling like he's not been doing much.
Yeah. So it's nice to hear an elder statesman of the sport from the 1950s. That's how far back he started in 58, I think.
No, yes.
And he's still driving in 72.
72.
Getting points.
No.
Yeah.
All right, so Fittipaldi takes out the championship with 61 points.
And the youngest ever. Up to this point in time.
Okay. Denny Holmes second, Louis. Second on 31. Jackie Stewart is third on 27, and Jackie Ickx is fourth on 25. And on the constructors, we've got Lotus Ford on 61, McLaren Ford on 39, Tyrrell Ford on 33, and Ferrari on 29.
Great.
All right, so we're going to leave it there, I think, and we'll come back and finish off the 1972 season, I think, Louis.
I think we will. There's only 2 races to go and a bit of a wrap-up, so it might be a bit of a shorter episode, but that's okay. We take the short with the long.
Okay. Wise words from Luigi. We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye everyone.